Hi, this is Tom from the Blue Dot, and today in part 3 of our how-to for Motorola Droid X, we're going to see how to take pictures and capture video. The Droid X, specifically this model, not the second one, which is called the Droid X2, which looks exactly the same as this. The only difference is that the Droid X1 has a camera button right here. The Droid X2 does not have that. They have some hardware differences. I think the Droid X2 has dual core, stuff like that. But on the outside, they look exactly the same. Because of this camera button, it actually makes it very easy to activate the camera app. Now, of course, there's a button right there if you just want to tap that. But let's say you're somewhere else on the home screen. You can then press and hold until it vibrates, and then it will activate. I'm just gonna cancel on that. Now, there is an upside and a downside to this button though. You probably don't want to use this button when you're just going to take a picture. There has been some complaints, and I know I've had this phone personally myself, that when you press on the button, there's no delay when it takes the picture. So when you press on it, it kind of shakes the camera a little bit, which can cause your pictures to be a little blurry. So I would highly suggest just pressing this button right here. But we don't have an SD card, so I can't take a picture. Just press that button there, it'll take the picture. What's also cool about this camera is that you see this box I'm dragging all over the place. This is a box that pretty much tells you what your phone is going to try to focus on. So if you like kind of go at an angle here, go to that door, move the box over there, it'll focus more on that door and less on this table. But if I move it down here, it'll focus more on the table and less on the door. You can't really see the difference. You'll see it a lot more outside if you're trying to take a group picture of somebody with like a landmark in the background. But typically, you won't actually be moving that around too much. This is a glorified point and shoot camera. It, although it's 8 megapixels, that doesn't really mean much for quality. But it still will take pretty decent pictures. And what's cool about this being a smartphone is that you have more options, and again, you can download other camera apps online. But if you slide your hand over here, you have different things you can do. There's preset scenes, which pretty much sets the phone up for how you want the picture. If you're taking a picture of a landscape or of a sport, which will be fast, so it'll try to take the picture really quick instead of exposing for a long time, which could cause blur. Nighttime, so it'll expose for a much longer time to get as much light as it can, which is really nice. You can also press the options button down at the bottom here, and there are more options here. If you hit settings, you can decide on resolution, face detection, how much exposure, and what kind of resolution you want. It's very bare bones kind of control, but it's nice that you have at least a little bit of control over how you're taking these pictures. Now, I went ahead and actually installed an SD card on this, like I should have done before. So let's take a picture real quick of absolutely nothing. Very interesting. Now, what's cool is that the picture you just took would have appeared down at the bottom there that you just saw for an instant. If I click again, it'll show up. You can press on that and take a quick look at what you just took a picture of. We took a glorious picture of white. So if you're taking group shots, you can take a quick look at what you just did, see if it came out all right, take another one. Now if we tap it, these options will appear at the bottom. This button that doesn't stay on long enough is the share button. That's kind of the universal button for most media that you're gonna have on this phone. It's kind of a weird looking icon for that, but eventually you're just gonna associate it with that. If you press that, it's a really quick and easy way to email somebody or text somebody, or however you want to share this picture. If you download Facebook on this, you can share it through Facebook and send it to somebody right away. So if you saw something hilarious or you're showing something that somebody's looking for, you can just send them the picture right away, which is really nice feature. That button will quickly upload to an account that you have someplace else if you save your photos immediately. And this button will give you a little bit more options, typically just deleting it or saving it as something else or printing it. To switch to video, you just slide this out and go to switch to, I think it looks like the camera. And right there, it pretty much looks almost exactly the same. You have like the same options, the effects. You can turn on the flash light if you're in a dark place and you need that to help you see. But that will just drain your battery like crazy. Just turn that off. And just like before, you can just press that and it will record for as long as you have hard drive space on your SD card. So we'll stop that. Just like with pictures, it'll show up in the corner there. Press that. And just like with pictures, you have share options. Videos are much larger files. Typically, you can't really send them in a text message. You can send really short, small ones, but you can't email them. You can send them off to a storage website if you have one, but that will really drain your battery life depending on how large the video is. If it's like a half an hour long video, it's going to take your phone a really long time to send that, if it will send it at all. So I would highly suggest just, plugging your phone into your computer and downloading it that way. But you can just hit play. You can hear myself talk. It will record for as long as you have. Alright, in our next video, we're going to be covering customizing your phone's apps and battery usage. It's a bit more advanced, but it's something you'll want to know early on. My name is Tom from the Blue Dot, and if you have any more questions, just put them in the comments below and I'll answer them personally and as quickly as possible. Thanks so much for watching.